They want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other, and they try, oh, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Welcome back to the Kyle McCullers Show. I am your host, Kyle McCullers, and today we're diving deep into the biggest political panic attack happening right now. Elon Musk and D.O.G.E, the Department of Government Efficiency. It's like the Democratic Party, the left, is having anaphylactic shock over the allergy, which is D.O.G.E. Well, the allergy, which is accountability, actually. But what is D.O.G.E? Is it even legal? Why are Democrats having a full-blown toddler meltdown over it? And what's really happening with the massive federal staffing cuts? Plus, we'll expose the media's latest desperate attempt to pit Elon Musk and Donald Trump against each other and why it's completely failing. This is going to be explosive, so grab your coffee, settle in, and let's break it all down. All right, first things first. What is D.O.G.E? No, we're not talking about the meme coin, of course. We're talking about Trump's brand new Department of Government Efficiency, the most aggressive government accountability effort in U.S. history. The mission? To audit, expose, and eliminate wasteful federal spending, which, I don't know about you, I'm pretty sure if we took a poll, 8 out of 10 people are going to say, yes, audit the government, eliminate the waste. So what is the big deal about this? Also, who better to run that than Elon Musk, who is literally the richest man in the world, one of the most successful human beings ever to have lived, who bought Twitter, gutted it, all the dead weight, and turned it into a profitable company within months. Twitter, which is now X. SpaceX, Tesla, need I go on? No, I don't need to go on. Trump tasked him with doing the same thing to the bloated, overfunded, and utterly useless departments of our federal government that have become completely cancerous with bureaucrats. Here's why this is such a big deal. And I got to stop hitting my mic. Sorry about that, guys. Here's why this is such a big deal. Billions of taxpayer dollars go unaccounted for every year. I'll try to find the clip, but there was a report that was done by the Biden administration is most likely fraudulent. Let that number sink in. Federal agencies have ballooned in size with unnecessary employees. I was listening to the radio the other day, I think it was yesterday, where they said that we had 450 agencies in America. And I think that the stat was it was 2 federal agencies for every year that the country has existed. There is no need for 450 agencies to rule over the people to tell them what to do. Absolutely not. And the American people have been funding jobs that serve no real purpose. And now that gravy train is about to be derailed permanently. Here's my thoughts on this. You know, what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the actual executive order. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go over to the whitehouse.gov where all this stuff lives. You can go there right now. We're going to go there right now. Establishing and implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency executive order. This is on the first day of his presidency. All right. Now, the purpose, right, is modernizing federal technology and software to maximize government efficiency and productivity, right? And as used in the order, the agency has meaning given to it by the Section 551 of Title V United States Code except that such term does not include the executive office of the president or any components thereof. And the agency head means the highest ranking official of an agency. Okay? So the structure is A, reorganization and renaming of the United States Digital Service, right? So the United States Digital Service, the USDS, is hereby publicly renamed as the D.O.G.E service, all right? And what it's a temporary organization, right? There shall be a USDS administrator established in the executive office of the president who will report to the White House chief of staff, right? That's who Elon reports to, right? And the service shall be headed by the USDS administrator and shall be dedicated to advancing the president's 18-month D.O.G.E agenda. The U.S. D.O.G.E service temporary organization shall terminate July 4th, 2026, guys. This is a temporary organization, all right? And then there's teams, right? This is the team. So in consultation with USDS, each agency head shall establish within their respective agencies a D.O.G.E team of at least 4 employees, which may include special government employees hired or assigned within 30 days. These are the people that actually work in the D.O.G.E. So all these Democrats and the legacy media going crazy over these young engineers, these brilliant minds, that's what the D.O.G.E team is made up. It's actually made up of 1 engineer. So it's a D.O.G.E team lead, 1 engineer, 1 human resource specialist, and 1 lawyer. That's basically the pod. And the pod can get bigger. But these pods, that's what the team consists of, right? And it says that the agency head shall ensure that the D.O.G.E team leads coordinate their work with USDS and advise the respective agency heads on implementing the president's D.O.G.E agenda, right? So the job for the USDS is to modernize and maximize the efficiency of productivity with modernizing the software and the quality and efficiency of the government-wide software and network infrastructure. So what they're doing is they're upgrading all the systems in the government so that they can talk to each other, right? So it says right here, USDS administrator shall work with the agency heads to promote interoperability between agency networks and systems to ensure data integrity and facilitate responsible data collection and synchronization. So all the 3-letter agencies, the Department of State, the Department of the Pentagon, Department of Defense, all of these, they're upgrading the network infrastructure, this is long overdue. The war we're fighting with China and Russia is a cyber war, and it is long overdue that our systems in the government get updated. So this is really what they're doing behind the scenes, right? And they're going through all of the budgeting, right? So the scope and the depth of D.O.G.E, it's not just money, and this was already an agency, right, that Trump folded into D.O.G.E. He basically made it. He made it better. He got better people in it. He got more of a surgical scope, and he got people that are actually implementing what is supposed to be happening. D.O.G.E. is upgrading the systems and the efficiencies of the government. And while they're doing this, they are finding out where the bodies are buried. That's what's happening. The work they're actually doing is upgrading the network, software, synchronization, functionality, and the efficiency of the actual systems in which the government functions so that there's no waste and everything is quicker and faster and more efficient. And while they're going through that and while they're doing that, they're finding fraud. They're finding waste. They're finding shady dealings. They're finding things that don't add up, and they're calling it out. They're putting it out there. That's what's happening right now. So when you saw, and if you haven't saw him, I'll find the clip, Elon Musk standing in the Oval Office with his kid, having a press conference with Donald Trump, talking about, there's an actual literal mine that the retirement documents of federal employees live, and that Only 10,000 people a month can retire because that's how fast the elevator can come up and down with the documents, because everything's paper. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about how the government, which, let's be honest, when I was working in banking in early 2008, 2009, that was when the banks went from paper to digital. Okay? It's 2025. We're talking 15, 17 years ago. And the United States government, the government who has the most money of recorded history of civilization, is still using paper like it's 1955. It just shows that the money that should have been funneled to USDS to actually upgrade the systems that keeps getting, the can keeps getting kicked down the road decade after decade, is because they're taking that money and they're lining their own pockets. That's what's happening. That's why these Democrats have anaphylactic shock and are terrified, because they've been running the White House 12 out of the 16 years, and they've had more of the power and the direction of where the government should go, and ultimately they have more bodies that are buried. With something this bold, the biggest question is, can Trump and Musk even do this legally? The short answer is abso-freaking-lutely, yes. The Presidential Reorganization Act gives Trump the authority to restructure federal agencies, which I just showed you. The Inspector General Act allows for internal audits and efficiency measures. And under Article 2 powers, the president has the right to appoint special advisory boards to improve executive branch functions, because DOGE is under the executive branch. USDS is under the executive branch. DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, falls squarely within these powers. The difference is no other president has ever had the guts to actually use them like this. The real issue here is not legality. It's that the establishment is terrified. They know that once the American people see how much of their money, our money, right? We, the American people, the taxpayer, the people who work their butts off, give their money to the government, and the government takes that money and spends it, how much of their money has been wasted? They'll never trust the government again. 500. No wonder Trump wants to get rid of the income tax. You know what's so beautiful about the presidency of Donald J. Trump this time? Because I got to stop doing that because I'm getting bored. You know what's so beautiful about this? It's a legacy presidency. He's not going to be president again. It's a legacy presidency. He has nothing to lose. If there was something to find, they would have found it years ago. Okay? He has nothing to lose. He's going in there and he is issuing a reckoning of justice. The party is over. Like Kendrick Lamar said, I'm watching the party die. We're watching the party die in real time. The bureaucracy is over and democracy is here once again. You'd think that cutting government waste would be a bipartisan win, that both Democrats and Republicans would be on the same page. But the Democrats and the progressive left are treating it like the apocalypse, and it's glorious. Why? Because it exposes just how bloated and corrupt the system really is. The corrupt system that they rely on to line their own pockets. Because if they actually became a politician to serve the people and get paid $35,000, $40,000 a year, they wouldn't do it, because they're not really about the people. They're about themselves. You have a bunch of low-life, selfish, ignorant, narcissistic politicians who go into office to line their own pocket. For decades, the federal government has been stuffed with unnecessary positions, cushy jobs that exist only to funnel money into the hands of political allies and donors. And don't get it twisted. Donald Trump's right when he was talking about how they found items where someone gets paid a contract, a 3-month contract, and no one asks why this contract has existed for 20 years. And he talks about how there's kickbacks. I'll give you this contract for 20 million, even though it's for 11, you kick back the other 9 to me. All that shady, disgusting embezzling of our tax dollars has been happening as business as usual for decades. And they got more bold and more bold and more bold. Why? Because there's no oversight. There's no accountability. Like Elon said in that Oval Office press hearing, where he was talking about how there's no way to track where the money goes because the Treasury Department doesn't even have codes for the line items of the money. So you're seeing basically like $100,000 deduction, $1 million deduction, and they're asking, well, what is this? There's no code. So we can't categorize it. Everyone knows how to do books, right? We all have to do our books. We all have to do a budget, right? So you have your budget, $100 is going to go to family activity, $1,500 goes to groceries, $300 to my car payment, $150 to my insurance. On your bank statement, there's codes and what the money was for. And we don't have that in the United States Treasury Department. Oh, I wonder why. Elon Musk may not have been elected, but he was appointed by the man that we elected. And it's no secret, they campaigned together for months. They talked about this concept for months. And guess what? Trump won in a landslide because the people understand what he's doing. The people understand what Musk is doing. We understand, and we want the accountability. We want the crackdown. We want the corruption to end. We want our country back, and we want the money to start flowing back to the people, not to foreign governments and to Palestinian rappers rapping about Gaza and Jews. It's ridiculous. America should have no deficits. We should have profits. The bureaucracy of America is a vampire that has been sucking the life's blood from the American people, and it's over. They're freaking out because it strips them of control. They have no control. They have no recourse. They have no power. They've been defanged. They don't have the Senate. They don't have the Congress. They don't have the White House. They don't even have the freaking Supreme Court. A leaner government means less power for bureaucrats. That means less ability to push their radical agendas through the backdoor policies and unelected committees. Less power for the bureaucrats means more power to the people. They've been able to manipulate and cajole and act as if the people had power when they had all the power, unelected bureaucrats controlling and manipulating all of the agencies behind our back without our knowing, thinking that the people we were electing could actually do things. But when they got into office, they learned they didn't have power. They were controlled. And no one can control Donald Trump. That is the best thing to happen to our government. Because the cuts are actually happening. And they're happening so fast. The bureaucracy, which now has no power, and the Democrats, which have no power, they can't stop it. They can't do anything. It's like watching light hit a vampire, and the vampire just bursts into dust, right? That's what's happening right now. They're going through there and just lighting it up. We're already seeing reports of entire teams being eliminated in agencies like the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Department of Education, which was a huge one, the Bureau of Land Management. And it's just getting started. The establishment swamp is not drowning. It's actually being drained. The swamp is actually being drained, and they don't know how to stop it. And while all of this is happening, the mainstream media is running its classic distraction playbook, of course. They're desperately trying to create tension and division and sow seeds of doubt, trying to pit Elon Musk versus Donald Trump. Headlines like Musk secretly disagrees with Trump's policies, things like President Musk, right? Making it look like Musk is the president, not Donald Trump, right? And it's all a lie. It's all a lie. These people are so desperate to turn Musk into a rogue figure that they're making all kinds of things up to divide the movement and the momentum. The truth is that Musk repeatedly praises Trump's policies. He campaigned with Trump. He donated to Trump. They've had lengthy conversations. They always talk. They've worked together very closely on this plan. You can see how closely they've worked on this plan leading into the election and after, because like I said, day one, they did that executive order. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. There's no power struggle because Elon knows that is the president and he works at the president's behest. And it's not working. And I wanted to bring this to light because this is something that Patrick Bet-David had said on his podcast, so shout out to him. And I believe he was the first one who said it, and he's the first one who tweeted it, and he's the first one who saw it. And I remember sitting down and watching that podcast, and I was like, thank you, PBD, for saying it out loud, because I know if I saw it too, just like you saw it, there's plenty of people that saw it, plenty of people have mentioned it, like privately, but he was the first person to say it out loud. And then it was funny because like a week or two later, you could see the media starting to turn those stories out. So I think it's very interesting. And I wanted to show you this clip with Elon Musk and Donald Trump talking to Sean Hannity.
They want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. No, they said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
And he's absolutely right. You're right, Mr. President. The people do see through it. The people have spoken. They elected Donald Trump in a landslide election. They gave him a mandate to make America great again. They know that Donald Trump and Elon Musk were going to create this Department of Government Efficiency, go in and audit the books and make our government leaner and meaner, and that's what they're doing, and God bless them. Trump is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. That is why they're terrified. He's making America great again. He's delivering on his campaign promises like no other president has ever had, especially in my life. It is not just refreshing, it's a new precedent to set how to carry out the office of the United States president. And I think that what they're doing is exactly what we needed for so long. And it's a monumental shift in momentum toward common sense and toward the people. Less bureaucrats, more democracy. That's what's going on. So what happens now? Federal employees are panicking. More layoffs and agency overhauls are coming, which is fantastic. We got to cut the fat. We got to get rid of the people that aren't working. It doesn't matter if you're working remote or not, in my opinion. But if you want you back in the office, if your boss wants you in the office, get back to the office. And if you don't, get out. If you're working remote and you're thinking you can do two jobs and you're collecting a paycheck, and people know what they're doing. They know if they're taking advantage of the system, and we know that that's what's been happening, and that's a culture thing. That's something that has been sadly developed in our federal culture. And people like to say, "Oh, there's some good employees," and not all federal employees. We aren't talking about the good ones, guys. We're not talking about the good ones. We're talking about the 10, 15, 20% that aren't good. And when you're talking about 10 to 20% of 2 million federal employees, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of money we can save to the government every year. And just like the private sector, every year, every other year, you cut the bottom 10% of the people because they're not producing. You're not going to pay someone for not doing the job. You want to find the best people and put them in the best position so that they can do the best job and your company can be great. You don't want to just give people money who are mediocre or not even trying or just taking advantage of you. That doesn't make any sense. And remember, the people, the taxpayer, we are paying them. So if we're going to pay them, we want them to work for us and make sure that they're doing the best job possible. And Democrats, what are they going to do? They're going to try to fight it in court. But legally, they don't have any ground to stand on. They're not. It's not about winning because they're not going to win. It's about delaying. It's about for them, pride and ego, feeling like it's the only thing they can do to fight back. Right? They don't really care. It's not so much about what's being done as much as it is for optics and trying. And like Trump has said several times about the judge that I forget what he challenged him on his executive order and slowing him down on things. But he basically said, I don't know why a judge would want to stop us from auditing the books and finding fraud. But if you do that and you delay it, then we'll win on appeal, right? He's like, we'll win on appeal, but it just takes a long time. And you're giving these people more time and ability to cover their tracks. And it's 100% true. Why would you stop him from carrying out the will of the people and auditing and figuring out where the waste and the fraud is? Because your friends are fraudsters. If you try to delay something like this, it just is transparent that you are either involved or you have people that are involved that you're trying to protect. And the media is going to keep pushing out fake stories, but the truth is winning. Thank you, Lord. And if Doge succeeds, we'll finally see a government that actually works for the people again. I don't doubt Elon's numbers. I don't doubt what he was saying, that he was saying within a year, we could be $1 trillion up, right? We could reduce the deficit by $1 trillion from cutting government waste and increasing output of energy. And basically, he's talking about lowering expenses and increasing profits, revenue. And by lowering the deficit, the debt, and increasing revenue, we could be up $1 trillion within a year. We could be completely profitable within 4 years. Imagine that. Imagine that. I can't even imagine. Your mortgage payments, your car payments, your credit card payments, all that stuff goes down. Your 401k, your retirement, all that goes up. It takes the power away from the government and away from bad actors. It puts the power squarely in the hands of the people, and it makes you richer and less dependent on government, which means they have completely less control over you. That's what they're terrified, losing control over the people. Financially, it frees you to be more of an enterprise human being. And it would be incredible, and it will be incredible. That's why the left is so scared, because the left, in order to exist, depends on fear and control of you. That's why they're losing their minds. And that's why this is only the beginning. This is the biggest political shakeup we've seen, I would say, ever, in my opinion. I think this is the biggest political, governmental shakeup that we have seen in American history. And trust me, you're going to want to stay informed. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you think about Doge. Do you think Elon Musk is doing a good job? Do you think it's good for this department to exist temporarily and to see what's going on? Do you like the information that you're receiving? Do you think that they should be doing more or less? Tell me what you think. Do you think it'll backfire? I really want to hear what you guys think and have a dialogue. So subscribe for more unfiltered, real commentary from me, Kyle McCullers, on the Kyle McCullers Show. You can follow me on Instagram at the Kyle M Show. I'll put it on the screen. And you can follow me on Twitter, X. I'm old school. You can Follow me on X at Lux and Veritas. We're just getting started and the establishment knows it. So God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.